Brown 45. Brown 45. Hot, 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 hot.
Of commercial-free football start now.
We're back. Hit stick. We have a lot planned this season. A lot to go over. The season is almost here. We will do 2 shows leading up to week 1, and then we'll fully break down. I don't know if anybody else looked at week 1 slate, but we're pretty lucky. It's honestly a pretty solid week 1 schedule. A lot of big matchups, but I can't wait to talk about it with everybody. We have a new prediction for our new competition for the entire season. I was pissed off that I kept losing by like 3 points to Robert the entire week. So I had to change it up and make it more beneficial for myself. But I'll describe that after the fact. But first up, Mark will be here at some point. Scully will also be here at some point. So the whole gang, this is the group. I've added everybody over the years that watch the show into the thing. I've stopped doing this. This is our group. This is what we're riding with. This is the hit stick. First up, Nazario. You just got Sky Moore. How are you feeling? Woo woo.
I saw that. I'm not happy about it, but
I'll trade him in the league. I think I still have him.
At some point, somebody has to catch the fucking ball. It can all be Ricky Pilsel. So I really don't fucking know. I saw the schedule and I thought like this is gold, and then everything just kept going to shit. I mean, like this falling down a mountain of shit has to stop at some point, right? Like there has to be a bottom.
I literally just asked how you are doing, not the 49ers. I understand your confusion. That's all right. Next up, the winner of last year's predictions, I believe, when it all came down to it, Robert Kastner joined the show, I think, mid. Were you at the start or did you join mid?
I think I was at the start for last year.
Okay.
I think I joined like mid.
Yeah, I think you joined at the end of the previous season. But yeah. Robert is back. Robert, how are you doing? And in like 3 words, how excited are you for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm good. It's been 7 to 6 months or so since we had this glorious show on the air, and we're back, and that's exciting.
We are back.
You talked about that it was your most exciting thing. Usually, for me, as a talking situation, it is for me as well. Aaron Rodgers in 3 words or less. Don't care.
That's very fair. I think since the last time he was on the show, he got bald. Well, he's been bald. He's grown out some facial hair a little bit more. His Vikings are still around. Coho, how are you? Superman has entered his top 100 movies of all time. Coho, how are you doing? And JJ McCarthy, 3 words or less.
I'm doing all right. Optimistic for season.
You should be. And the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion, guaranteed to probably not get his head coach not be fired right now. So that can be off the board for everybody for a while. The Birds, go Birds. Gave you a lot of shit. You guys cashed in at the end of the year. Dominant performance in the Super Bowl. Yeah. How are you feeling about this season?
Optimistic. I think that we have a very strong case to do very well this year. let's see how it goes. I don't want to jinx it.
Okay. Yes, I will say I do agree with you. You have a shot to do very good things. That is fair. I would agree with you. So how this show is going to work this season. Tonight, we're breaking down, I think, 16 predictions that we did. Fun ones. Each one that you get correct is a point going towards your end of the year total. So, say you've missed out a few games, you struggle to hit some points, certain things. Good news. This will make up those points for you. Okay? This will matter in the long run. So if you do get one right, now if you get one like, for example, one of them is a coach being fired. If that coach is fired after a coach, you get no points. It doesn't matter for makeups. You have to be first coach fired is one of the things tonight. With that being said, we've changed our predictions this season. We will break down all games, but the crux of it will be the ones that we pick. 5 games. Each person will pick 5 games. Certain weeks will be more that you can double up on because of bye weeks. The games will be shorter, so you can't do it. But for the first week, we'll have 5 games. Only 3 games can be picked at a time. After you pick your 5 games, you'll give it to a point total. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Add up over the course of the entire season. Winner will be at the end. We've done this in the past. We've had fun with it. Yeah, let's keep it up to date. No, this is going to mean something for all of us this season. Winner, jersey of their choice. Basically can rock it all season long if they on the hit stick the following season. And knowing that they bought this jersey with none of their own money. It could be any jersey you want. It could be baseball. It could be football. It could be whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not gonna put any rules on it. Football would make the most sense, but if you wanted a baseball jersey or a basketball jersey, go for it. Loser. We all, I would say, are super sports fans for one team or another. What's worse is holding merchandise of the opponent of your rivals. Like for example, me, I will never wear a Yankees hat. But if I lose this season for 4 weeks, I will be wearing a Yankees hat on the first 4 weeks of next year's show. Mark Menchaca hates Texas University. He will be playing the Longhorns on his head. Scully and Coho hate their fathers so freaking much they will be wearing his hat for 4 weeks straight. Robert hates the North, but he hates the Ravens more. He will be wearing the Ravens. Barr will be wearing the Cowboys hat. And Nazario will be wearing. I'm gonna probably throw a Seahawks hat on his head.
That's what I was
to be
going
honest
to
with
say.
you. I think
That's
that's the one we're probably gonna go with. Because I think that's the one they're right. So
Can we
Can't
burn
wait
it
to-
after 4 weeks?
yes, you can piss on it after 4 weeks. Do not care. So with that being said, we're gonna go through the list. I have Scully. I have everybody's things. I am going to pick a fairly easy one to get us out of the way because it came in. There's only 3 different options, maybe 4 different options. No, only 3. So first one to get a point for it: kicker to make the longest field goal of the season. I felt like this was pretty self-explanatory after we saw something happen.
Yes.
That did not happen for everybody. No one else followed that logic. So, the people that did, I will say my vote, and then if you agree with me, you can also say you haven't. I have Cam Little of the Jacksonville Jaguars after he put a 70-yarder through an upright in an outdoor stadium. Anybody else? Okay.
Indeed.
Scully has that, and Scully also has Cam Little. So, anything else you guys want to add on Cam Little being able to kick that field goal?
Yeah, so first of all, he hit a 70-yarder, and they're not going to put it in the record books, which is
No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't.
But the Jaguars and Liam Cohen are gonna make sure that he does get in the record books. So you know at some point, if it's like seconds before halftime and it's like a 72-yarder, they're going to put him in there just so he can break the record.
Tiger.
Yeah, I think if they tried that, that means that they're susceptible to the idea of doing it more. So,
Right.
And I also don't trust that offense a whole lot. So the idea that they will be set up with long field goal opportunities and not have the chutzpah to go for fourth downs, thus Cam Little comes into play.
Duval.
Plus, if you look at that kick that he did make, he could have gotten a few more yards out of it.
It would have been like 70.
He had space to go.
Yeah. It's crazy. This was my argument. What I think week 1 or week 2 last year, where kickers are too good. It makes them like they need to shrink. They need the upright needs to go in. It just makes no sense.
Kickers had the worst season ever last year.
Huh?
Your argument was weird because last year it was very bad for kickers.
Right, but the distance that they were willing to kick because of the kickoff rules, they were basically a first down, second down in, and they were already trying for it where it was later. Nazario, you were tied with somebody else for selecting this person, so who you got?
Brandon Aubrey. I don't like many things from the Cowboys or Texas, except Jim Green, but Brandon Aubrey, it's a good one. He kicks like 90% of his kicks, and he already is 65 yards deep. I mean, I will go with experience against a novelty act. So yeah.
Nice. Yes. Mark always asks us. And then checking into Vibes Population Coho. He just went with Vibes on this pick. Who we got?
I went with similar logic to Nazario. For clarity, no games had been played when I made my picks. Cam Little was an unknown.
Well, you made this pick after Cam Little's kick.
No, I didn't. August 4th is when I submitted.
Was that when
my
the
picks.
kick was happening?
No, it was like a week before any preseason was played. I think I made it either the day after the fucking game.
In the chat, when did I say that they have to be finalized?
I don't know.
I said just give it to me before the show, like before I think Wednesday.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so don't. So a lot of games actually have been played.
I'm just giving context for my pick. I have not.
Just tell me who you got. Tell me who you got.
I took Chris Boswell because I think Boswell is going to kick a lot of field goals this year.
That was not the question.
Not who I was expecting you to say. I thought for sure you were about to say Jake Bates.
Chris
I would have said
Boswell
somebody in a dome.
No.
Boswell could do a 60-yarder in Pittsburgh.
The Warhawk.
It's here.
We're talking about kickers. A few of us, including you, picked Cam Little because we saw him kick a 70-yarder that could have went 70 plus. 2 people went with Brandon Aubrey, which makes sense. Dome can kick pretty far, pretty accurate. And then Coho Vibes Population Him went with Chris Boswell from the Steelers. What is his career long?
It's a young man's game, bro. It's a young man's game.
What is Boswell's career long? I agree. Like there are games that he could probably win 15-12 because he's kicked all the field goals. I'd say he's accurate, but I don't know.
59.
His career long is 59.
59.
What was the longest
this year?
How many
22.
60 plus? How many 60-yarders were kicked last year?
A lot.
Got to be somewhere in the 30s.
That's crazy. Okay.
40s.
Love it. Okay. I kind of explained everybody's point system. By the way, I did elect that if you do lose this season, Scully, that you will be wearing your dad's hat, the Packers, and not a Yankees hat, even though I think the hatred is pretty close. I think that's fair, but I think the Packers are more. If I had to choose, because the Packers have at least been somewhat relevant, the Yankees haven't been relevant for a really long time. Okay. Ooh, which one to go next? One that I think is hard to break down, because I think if somebody going to get this point, it's going to be pretty interesting how it happens. Which team will have the most prime time games flexed out? I think it's just it was just a random question. Let's go because everybody has different options here. I think there's only agreement on a few of these. So let's go with first Coho. Who do you think is going to get flexed out of games?
I picked the Giants. The Giants are always bad, and they're for whatever reason the Giants brand still matters to some football stations. So I think they're going to get flexed out of most primetime spots.
I wonder how many prime times they got because that would be. I mean, if anybody's, I'm just not a peek ahead. If anybody looks at the Giants schedule, Jackson Dart or not, holy shit! I think that is the hardest schedule in football. That is one of the
It
scariest.
is by record by
Like,
3 wins max.
They get 3 wins. Their over under is 4.5, and I'm telling you, I don't know if I find 3. And maybe if they bench starters at the end of the year, like those like playoff teams, but it's crazy. Okay, so you pick Giants. Let's go, Robert. Who you got?
First, the Giants have 3 scheduled right now.
Okay.
I thought they'd have more. So when I was looking at this, I was trying to look at like how many teams had the most games between like weeks 15 to the end, and everybody's kind of spread out, and there's a lot of good teams playing them. I went with the Dolphins because I think they have 2 or 3 near the end, and I think the games they're playing are not going to be relevant games. Plus, I also believe that they will be terrible because they have lots of problems. Lots and lots of problems, especially keeping people healthy on offense. So I went the Dolphins because of that scheduling consideration.
Mark Menchaca also agrees with you with the Dolphins. Scully, who do you have?
I'm going with the Steelers.
That was on the list.
Yeah, I think the Steelers, because if you look at the schedule, they've got a Sunday night game against the Chargers. They've got a Sunday night game against the Packers. They have a Thursday night game against the Bengals. They have a CBS 4:25 kickoff against the Bills. 2 weeks later, a Monday night game. And then I would imagine Ravens-Steelers ends up being primetime as well. But to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if all but one of these games gets put back to a 1 p.m. start. Because I think just because you look at some of these games, who they're playing, like the Dolphins, I think that gets flexed out.
That was one of them.
Steelers, Chargers, if both teams have rough starts, that's going to get flexed out. And then Packers, Steelers, I guess that one could stay. But at the end of the day, if both teams have slow starts, NBC is going to yank them for whoever the hot team is playing at home that night. So I think it's going to be the Steelers.
Me and Bar are in lockstep with our picks, and I think we both picked it for the law of average. We picked the Dallas Cowboys. We got a ton of games. They're an injury away from completely just being moved out of everything. I just don't. It just seems very not good over in Jerry's world right now. If the report is true of the trade that they turned down from the Packers, that's just malpractice. I don't know what Jerry's doing, but I guess that's the point. We just never know what Jerry's doing. So
Jerry hasn't had draft picks since 1991.
Right. Bar, you're anything on that one?
Yeah, so I kind of started looking at games after week 5 because they usually start flexing games out later. And the Cowboys have like 4 games on primetime after week 5. 2 of them being one against the Raiders and one against the Cardinals, which if things don't go well for the Cowboys, those 2 games in particular look like they could probably get canned.
Cowboys Raiders is 2 of the most recognizable brands in football. I don't think that one's getting pulled.
You literally picked the Steelers too, so I don't know what you're.
Yeah,
talking about, sir.
because they're not playing, a Dallas or New England on prime time. They're playing the freaking Chargers.
Packers are pretty recognizable.
Right, but don't forget, this is no longer the Oakland Raiders. This is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Which is why they want to prime time Las Vegas.
And Tom Brady.
All right, calm down. Nazario, what's your pick?
I fucked up. I pulled a Coho and went with Vibes, and I picked the Jets. And then I checked the actual schedule. They have 2 primetime games, and one is on week 4. So I'm fucked.
Okay, I looked at it. I was like, interesting. Okay,
But if that one game gets flexed, maybe.
You copy pasted from last year.
Okay. Interesting. This one's a little bit more interesting. We're getting a little bit closer. First game to end in a tie. Now, some people on the show just was like, I'm going to hedge my bets. None. I'm not awarding a point for none. You have to find a game on the schedule and pick it that you think could be a tie.
Bullshit.
Just to let you know, Scully, you sent me one in this versus this, so I took that matchup. So
For game to end in a tie?
yes,
I sent you just
which
one.
you can right. If it was they play twice, so the reverse would be. So I just took that one.
Okay.
You can flip it, but you can tell me who you think's going to end in a tie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got you.
Okay. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a Steelers-Browns game.
It's happened before.
The one in Cleveland, I'm going to say.
Which is the same as Nazario.
As what?
Nazario has the same game as you.
Oh. Yeah.
Steelers and Browns. I mean, it's week 17. They're going to be bowled out of the playoffs for the first time ever for fucking Tomlin. It's going to be meaningless as fuck.
This is going to be the game where it doesn't eliminate them because they can't be eliminated until week 18. So this is the game where they tie to stay in the playoff race, and they won't get eliminated until week 18.
Oh my God, Tomlin gets an 8-1 record.
That's exactly what I'm going for. The
8-1.
My game last week of the season.
Ooh.
Jaguars versus Titans in Tennessee.
That's
I think they just you say fucking at the end. Just don't care. I think overtime it ends with a missed field goal. I think both send these pathetic franchises out just like how they are. I think it's just again, if it's gonna happen, I want to get it at the last possible moment. And I understand first game, but I think it could. I think we could last all the way to that point. Bar, who you got?
I have a week 2 matchup between 2 mid-level teams. The Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals.
I think both of these teams are going to be on the rise. You call them mid-level. I don't know.
Panthers for sure. Cardinals, I think they stay pretty much kind of where they were last year.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. What is that face you're making?
I'm buying Cardinal stock this preseason. I'm not gonna lie.
That motherfucker's gonna sour in the fridge. But I don't blame you. I do think there's some positives. Coho, what's your tie?
I don't think there's gonna be a tie, but if I have to pick one, I'm just gonna pick Saints Falcons. I just think those two teams are not going to be great this year, and I think the Falcons have a allergic weakness to winning within their division, and I think the Saints are going to be terrible. So I think it's going to be a tie.
Hate each other so much. There's going to be a death before that. There's a tie.
There's going to be a funeral on Bourbon Street after the game. If that happens.
I think Robert is also in somewhat of an agreement with you, but Robert, what's your tie game?
Yeah, I looked at some Carolina games, but I also believe they might be on the rise, so I didn't want to put that bad juju on them. So I was looking through the weeks, and I was like, teams where rookie quarterbacks could be on both sides, who has inferior offenses most likely, defenses that could step up. And I went with a game in week 5, the Giants at the Saints. It could be Jackson Dart versus Tyler Show or whatever his name is. And I just was like, I wouldn't be surprised in the Dome if it's like a 6-3, 7-7 tie, and we get situations where obviously the Saints can't move the ball on the defensive front of the Giants. And, maybe it's Jackson Dart, maybe it's Russ, maybe it's Jameis, who knows? If that's the case, I don't think it'll be a tie. But if it's on the other two quarterbacks, just seems like it's up for grabs. So.
I just want this on the record right now before we get any farther in this game. I have been very adamant about predicting rookie quarterbacks to be asshole. I have a pretty good track record. Anthony Richardson, anybody want to have a conversation? Ass. Caleb Williams last year. Ass. And I'm telling you right now, Old Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, ass. I don't care how tall or how blonde or how athletic he looks. The man is a blockhead, and he's going to be concussed by the first 3 games he plays. He tackles with his forehead. He doesn't run out of bounds. He puts his head forward and is like, I can get an extra yard. Dumbass. He went to Old Miss also. Idiot. Just roll down the record. So I want that. I'm putting my flag in that one right now. Ass. Okay. I think are you guys ready to? Are we ready to get the fire? Are we ready to yell at each other a little bit? Then we can go back a little bit because I think this could be some times to get some anger. I want to go with which team will have the biggest win drop off.
Yeah.
So what team won the most games that will have one of the biggest drop offs? A lot of us, which 2 of you are crazy, but that's fine. But we can have this conversation. I'm going to start with Robert and Coho have the same one.
Yikes for me. It's not what I wanted, but cool.
So who you guys got?
Coho, this is more of Coho's wheelhouse, so I'll let him go.
The Detroit Lions have been absolutely gutted of coaching talent. They have all their coordinators, all their important coaches. Dan Campbell's a fraud. When you look at his record without Ben Johnson, it's absolute dog shit. He is a bad head coach. He's been a fraudulent head coach this entire time. He's a cheerleader, not a coach. I'm excited to watch them go like 7-10 this year and be last in the division because I think Jared Goff is going to absolutely suck. I think that he's going to regress. I think the defense, which is the most injured defense in football, is not going to be as good this year. I totally think the Lions are going to be just way regressed from last year.
Oh, Robert?
I don't have quite that fire and brimstone-y take. I looked at they won 15 games. They did lose some coordinators. I think they have the 3rd hardest schedule. If they have a 5-win, 6-win dip, that seems pretty on the nose for what's the biggest drop. So I just looked at it from a purely logical standpoint, and I did that. I don't want Jared Goff to be ass. I have him in the Dynasty League now, and so I don't want that to happen. But the schedule's tough, and they won 15 games. It's likely that they'll win 10. So I was like, 5-win drop. That's pretty.
I disagree with the coordinator leaving kind of situation. I don't think that is going to matter too much. The people that were in the room with those coordinators are still in said room. So overall, not everybody left. So I do think there may be a drop off. I don't think there is. Me and Bar can go next because we're in lockstep. Similar division, but the purple and gold won 14 games last year. And I watched a lot of Michigan football. You know what J.J. McCarthy really didn't do? He didn't throw the ball that much. So now we're trusting him to throw it in that offense. So the offense, good offense. But overall, I think the Bears got better. I think the Lions are still good. And I think the Packers are still good. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be very hard for him to adjust to the system, playing in that environment. I still think they're a good team. I just don't think they're a 14-win team. I think they're playing above their weight, and that's the easiest way to do a drop-off, in my opinion, when the division gets better, like overall. Like the division's better, those matchups, and like say what you want about Sam Darnold. I mean, he was a veteran in the league, like at least had experience behind center, and JJ's learning it all for the first time. So I think there's going to be some learning curves. Bar?
Yeah, 14 wins is already hard enough to get to, but not only are you playing the rest of the NFC North twice a season, the division I think may be the hardest division to win. You're playing the Eagles, the Chargers, the Ravens. Like you have got some tough games coming up that I have the Vikings absolute floor if everything goes wrong at like 8 or 7 wins.
That floor or ceiling?
Floor.
Okay.
The ceiling is the
The ceiling is the floor. If the Vikings had 15 wins, they would have been a lock for me.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. I just think, I think both head coaches are good. I just, how they're going to recover is what it's going to be. So the last two, well, Scully has his own. So Nazario and Mark have the same one. Mark, Nazario, what do you got? Nope, muted. So that tap did not work for you at all.
I have the Miami Dolphins. Even though they were pretty mediocre last year,
They won 8 games.
Yeah, they won 8 games.
Pretty mediocre.
Well, I know. I mean, they think they're going to drop.
This year, I feel like they are just gonna fall off. Like Mike McDaniel has done what he could have done, and like there's no surprise anymore. Tua, I don't even know how many games he's gonna play. And in general, I think like the Dolphins were found out, and they haven't done anything significant to improve on that. So they are basically just gonna get their asses kicked for another year. And I do feel that they're gonna drop like at least 4 or 5 games. Like I wouldn't be surprised if everything they do is like beat the Jets.
I mean, that's not entirely incorrect. And Scully, who you got?
So I don't entirely disagree with Lions and Vikings. I think that they're going to have drop-offs, but I think the North team with the biggest drop-off is the Green Bay Packers. I think that this is...
Daddy issues.
Daddy wasn't there.
Hear me out. This is the least talented roster in the North. This is the least talented secondary in the North. This is the team that is going to have to play not only the NFC East, but also the AFC West. The competition in the division, the 4 NFC North teams have 4 of the toughest schedules in football. And the Packers' track record against teams above 500 last year was dismal. They could not play up to higher competition. They beat up on all the worst teams, and they lost to literally almost every single team that had a better record than them last season. So when you factor in the increased strength of schedule, I think Jordan Love has been a lot better than I give him credit for. I think he's a perfectly fine quarterback. I don't think that offense and its 7 wide receiver 4s can play up to that level again this year. I don't see it. I think the other 3 North teams, of course my team improved, but at least the other 2 teams aside from that, their cores remain intact, and they still have a competitive coaching staff that can go out and beat superior teams with superior rosters. I don't see that with the Packers. As much credit as I give Matt LaFleur, and I give LaFleur more credit than Packer fans sometimes, I think he's still one of the best coaches in the NFL for what he's been able to do with what he's been given with. But this year, I don't see it happening.
I don't disagree. That's a good choice. Again, I would just the only thing I do is like Matt LaFleur seems to get the most out of like players that we just don't really know that well. Like what really that's the team. Okay. First quarterback to get benched for performance, not injury. Coho, you just sent me starting quarterback Indianapolis, so that would be Daniel Jones.
Now we know. Now we know.
Ooh.
Does anybody
now that
else
we
have
know it's
Daniel Jones?
I feel better about it than otherwise. So
I
think both Colts quarterbacks.
It's AR, Daniel Jones, and who is there a third?
The
I have
rookie.
no idea.
Yeah, Riley Leonard.
Okay.
Yeah, Riley Leonard. He's not.
There may be a shot all three play this season. But
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think
If
Daniel
they
Jones
are
will be the first one to get benched because he's bad. I think Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback, and we know that. And Anthony Richardson is also a bad quarterback, and we know that. So
similar to Trevor
I think
Lawrence.
hedging my bets on whoever started was a good call.
He's not bad. He just gets tired.
He's similar to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence are pretty much the same quarterback, so I kind of understand it.
Yikes.
Look at the stat line; it's pretty close.
No, I
also-
don't disagree necessarily, but it's a crazy.
22-42 career
idea.
starting record. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that O line is fucking asshole. I'll tell you. I wouldn't be surprised. He could have a resurgence. I will just say this: I would take Daniel Jones on my team over Anthony Richardson 7,000% over. I've seen him actually be able to step back in a pocket. This dude tapped out when he left his game. That would be the last I'd ever hear from that guy. Three of us have the same answer.
Yikes.
Me, Scully, and Barr all have the same one.
Oh.
Who would like to start? Because I think it's pretty unanimous based on schedule alone.
Yeah, so the Giants schedule. Let's start with the Commanders, then we play the Cowboys, then they play the Chiefs, then they play the Chargers, and if they lose to the Saints, Jackson Dart's going in by week 6. Let's be honest. I don't care if the fact that it would be against the Eagles. Like, he could even be going in against the Saints, like, somewhere around that time. Brian Dable's head is going to start steaming, not from the cold, but just from the fact that he's so mad at Russell Wilson that he's going to get taken out and benched.
Now, I chose Russ, not because I think he's going to just suck all year long. I think it's going to be because they're going to be losing 45-10 in the fourth quarter of all 4 of those games. The fourth quarter will exclusively be played by Jackson Dart. It'll be like a preseason game. Russ gets like the first half. They may throw Jameson for the third, Dart in for the fourth. It's going to be like preseason for the first 4 weeks because they're going to be so far behind the other teams. It won't matter who's in a quarter.
Oh, so you took it as that way. You took it as bench.
That's how I took it because I think they're going to be completely uncompetitive in all those games. Now,
basically, performance. If a quarterback starts and he ends up the game and there's no injury report, it counts as the benching. I basically took it as this. I don't think they're going to be competitive. I don't think there's as much. Like I think I think if they had an easier schedule, they could easily be a better team than what they're facing. This is just a gauntlet of a schedule that I just don't see ease up. Even though like their game against the Saints, it's on the road in New Orleans. Even their games that should just be like, oh, maybe not so bad. Like they're going to get hit very hard in all different spots. And after you get your ass beat for 4 straight games rolling into New Orleans, you probably are not going to feel yay, I get the Saints. Or you overlook the Saints and they win. I just think there's so many ways to trip up in this. And the pressure is going to be pretty loud where they're going to be like, and Dable's going to be like, my job's on the fucking line. I want to see what Dart's got.
Every time you have a situation where the quarterback and the head coach and the GM are on the hot seat, I saw this exact same thing happen in 2021. Matt Nagy does not want to start Justin Fields, doesn't want to do it. Ryan Pace says, screw it. You're going to put him out there week 3 because our starter's hurt and you're not putting in the other backup. You're going to put in the rookie. Otherwise, you're fired on the spot. I think the exact same thing is going to happen to Dable at some point. Joe Shane is going to force him to put Dart out there sooner than he wants to, and it's going to end in absolute disaster. And you're going to lose an entire year of developing your young rookie because your GM went out trying to paint fences to save his job.
And don't forget, they traded back into the first round in order to get him.
Yes,
So
most desperate GMs tend to trade up for the quarterback that they think they want before they get fired.
No, I know, but I'm saying that if Russ doesn't do well, it's going to be a GM move of, I put so much chips into this guy, we need him now.
It's literally Chicago in 2021. I'm watching the same thing over again.
Okay, and Nazario and Robert are in lockstep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pick a specific one, or you just like me, like whoever starts?
I picked a specific one. Unfortunately, he was named the starter.
Yeah, I made it your starter too because that's it as a starter.
I mean, it is gonna be Flacco. I mean, I like the guy and everything, but what is he, like 50?
Flacco.
Also, like, he had his resurgence year 2 years ago. It didn't work out last season. Why would it work out now? He's just gonna go out there and get beat the hell and sit probably by week 4.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing a schedule look as well, and it's Bengals, Ravens, Packers, Lions in the first 4 weeks. And I was like, you know what? Joe's probably going to get his ass kicked a bit. He's going to throw, like, did you know he was on pace that year when he came in, like, to throw like 900 times if you did it for a 17-game schedule? Something gross like that. I don't think 40-year-old Joe Flacco can survive something like that just in general. And I think they're going to be down pretty heartily in these games. And they have so many. I mean, they're going to be the only team that carries 4 quarterbacks. So I think they're going to want to know if they have anything of any value before they have the number 1 pick.
Some people are entertainers. Some people are competitors. You know.
Here's a quick argument I have.
No.
Okay.
I don't have time for a quick argument. We got to move on. What was it about?
You brought up the schedule. The Bengals always start slow, and the Browns do really well against the Bengals. That 1 win could be enough to push him into like week 7.
No.
Also, he didn't do well last year because he didn't have Kevin Stefanski. Like, that's Stefanski.
That fucking fraud? The fucking 2-time coach of the year fraud?
Whoa.
Fuck that dude.
Whoa.
That's a coach of the year, sir.
Yeah, 2 times, and he shouldn't have won it at least 1 time, maybe once.
Your coach shouldn't have won it.
My coach has never won it.
His coach has never won it. What's
My
your
coach has never
response
been
now,
in.
Scully?
Yeah. He stinks.
He's never won?
He's never won it. He stinks.
Shit, I thought you had at least 2 under his belt.
Sir, he does not stink. He's a man above. Okay.
He's the man above 500.
Fair enough. Oh God, sexiest man in the world just entered the fucking call. Let's fucking go.
Hey.
He's back. Thanks for joining. All right. So we already went through 5 of these. Now this next one. Player to lead the league in interceptions. We all have really. There's only 2 people that have the same one. Oh gosh, Robert and Coho, lockstep buddies, holding hands. Yeah, you know what? There are 2 signs of knowing that you made the wrong choice. One of them is definitely being on Coho's side. So this is not a spite pick at all, I bet at all. So go ahead, Coho. Who you got?
I think the clock has struck midnight on Sam Darnold. I think that Sam Darnold is a bad quarterback unless he's under Kevin O'Connell, who is the best head coach in the NFC. Kevin O'Connell's the best head coach in the NFC, a quarterback.
No loyalty.
And I think that I think that Sam Darnold is going to a bad situation where he has nothing to work with on a bad team.
Nothing to
Am I
work.
taking crazy pills here?
I
Yes,
think
you
Sam
are.
Darnold is going to get absolutely plowed in the backfield and not get a lot of good passes off and throw a lot of picks.
Whoa, we're not
Didn't
talking
you
about
not
Wow.
argue for him re-signing in Minnesota
Hmm.
over J.J.
Yeah.
McCarthy?
No, I
Yeah.
would have rather had J.J. McCarthy than Darnold, and I said that last season. Like at the end of last season, I said I'd rather see what we're doing with McCarthy than pay Darnold.
I'm sorry.
the money he wants.
Before the meltdown.
I'm
No,
gonna
even
look for
before the
clip.
meltdown, I said if he gets us to a
No.
Super Bowl, you re-sign him. I said if he gets you to the Super Bowl, you re-sign him. But if exactly what happened is the meltdown, I would rather take the rookie than pay him $50 million a year to be here.
We need fans to actually recheck the tape. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
None of
know,
us.
I know,
Tape and go back. I've had this
The
opinion
Bluter
the whole
film.
time.
I know I argued that they should re-sign him because I know who JJ McCarthy is.
I have argued I'd rather let the rookie go if Kevin O'Connell can get that out of Sam Darnold, who we know is a bad quarterback outside that one season. That I bet the rookie's going to be great.
Yeah, because
Robert, what's your logic?
Okay, I hate this graph or whatever we have where co-host vibes intersect with my logic and we come to a similar locus point. I don't know what happened. Honestly, what I did was I looked at betting odds for most interceptions thrown and I looked at who was around the same level. And I was like, Stafford, I don't know, like he might not play. He doesn't have a back. McCarthy, I don't think he's going to throw enough, in my opinion, to get there. Baker Mayfield, he could do it, but that seems like an obvious pick. So I just went with Darnold because of the odds, because of like who he's potentially throwing to. They pay him enough that they want him to throw. Defenses are decent in that division. That was my logic. The betting odds say that he will be the most likely to do so. So I did that.
Okay. Well, speaking of Nazario, who you got?
I went with Baker Mayfield. Because I think he's going to be in a situation where he still tries to get that chip off his shoulder and try to justify that, to prove, actually, that he is a good quarterback, which he is. He's a solid quarterback. But he has been pumped to the point that he basically thinks he's better than what he actually is. And he's going to try to win some games. I think he was first or second last year on interceptions, too, something like that. So, yeah. Not a bad quarterback, just misguided one.
Mark, who you got?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure where to go with this one. Just figured, hey, you know who probably fit this one? Probably a rookie. And so I picked the rookie who I think is probably going to play the whole season. So I went with Cam Ward. So, why not?
As somebody that's watched him at Miami, oh yeah, he likes to throw that ball anywhere. Sometimes, like if he gets under pressure, he can make them in the ACC. In the ACC, he makes miraculous plays because the defense isn't good. And there, he's gonna throw it right to fucking every defender possible because they're gonna be there. So I don't disagree. I thought of that. Bar, who do you got?
I have Dak picked off. Dak Prescott.
That was so
He's-
weak.
So he's definitely had a heavy hand in interceptions in seasons past. And you've got Brian Schottenheimer right now. I don't know how much I trust how well this is going to work when you
Nepo coach.
combination.
What? Okay. I have Justin Fields from the Jets. I don't know how long he plays as a quarterback, but Pittsburgh must have seen enough where they don't trust the guy to throw the ball really at all. So my goal is, I think he's just going to.
He's not going to throw the ball enough to have the most interceptions.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think also if he plays bad, he's going to get benched at some point.
There's possibility. There's possibility. I wasn't guaranteeing, but I was like, Justin Fields is a starting quarterback. I can see him throwing a good number of things. Okay. Team with the worst regular season. Oh, Scully, sorry, my bad. My bad.
All right. You know, I got a concussion when I was in 7th grade. When I got my concussion, there were certain colors that, you know, when you first get hit, kind of go in and out of focus. I think in Tua's case, the teal jerseys aren't going to look like teal jerseys. And I think other jerseys are going to look like teal jerseys to him. I'm just, you know, I'm just spitballing here. Every time he throws the ball, you might as well just flip a coin. It's either going to go into a defender's hands or Tyreek Hill's. And I think because Tyreek Hill is now not as fast as he used to be, it's going to be more like 75-25 defender versus Tyreek. I'm going to go.
I just love Tua in camp was like, yeah, he said that stuff. You know, so we're going to have to work that together. I'm like, buddy, you're not even on the field. Shut the fuck up. Like you're going to be injured in week 3. Like stop worrying. If I was him, I would have wanted to leave too. This is going to save everybody. This is not. We don't need to be in a long discussion. There's a reigning team with the worst record. I think all three of us. Everybody picked between 3 teams. I have the Giants. I've said it. Who else has the Giants? Okay.
Oh.
I think you know. Mark, who do you have?
I picked the team that just is in the worst situation like ever, the New Orleans Saints.
Who else has the Saints? Okay, and Nazario, who you got?
Am I the only one who picked the Browns? God damn.
Apparently so.
I don't think you're far off. I'll just say that.
Yeah. You're not far off.
The only reason I couldn't pick the Saints is because of the division. I still think there are some games that just surprisingly, we're close.
Either Atlanta or Carolina at some point this season. I can't
We looked at the Giants schedule. It's fucking horror. Like it's one of the scariest in football.
For 17
Belts to ask. Speaking of worst record, who's getting fired?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the first coach fired? We're going to start with Bar. We're going to go through if you have. Actually, Robert, Scully, and Mark all have the same one. So go ahead and talk about that one.
Yeah. There's a nerd. I just wanted to pick a real nerd.
You look a little like him too.
I do. Well, I wouldn't want to be roaming on the sidelines. Downtown Miami or whatever.
You do kind of look like him.
It's fair. I mean, we picked Mike McDaniel because the situation is garbage, and I think he's running at the end of his rope, and I don't know how he does anything to save his job with how everything has been conglomerating together.
Another Shanahan disciple who tried to make it on his own, and through either a lack of discipline, lack of control over the locker room, or just a general nonchalantness over just coaching in general, he's going to lose it. This team is, if you watch them in the preseason, they're the most ill-prepared team you've ever seen. This is a team who whined that the Bears were hitting too hard in the joint practice when everyone agreed it was going to go to game speed. I watched Jalen Waddle crawl off the field after being hit on a routine play. I watched Mike McDaniel just stare facelessly into the crowd while his team gets bent over in an open session.
That faceless. Wait, what?
I firmly believe Stephen Ross is going to boot him and Chris Greer out the door by the trade deadline. And you're going to see a full-on rebuild in Miami this winter.
So the rest of us all have different coaches. So Bar, who do you got?
Mark, get to talk.
Oh, Mark, go ahead. Did you? No,
Yeah, I just thought
I forget. Scully talks for 7 years, and then I forget everybody else hasn't talked. That's my bad.
I think it's pretty simple. I just think his seat is one of the hottest in the league. considering the amount of talent that's on that team, and it's the same shit. The same stuff is that. And funny enough, I think their season's probably going to start out pretty good. I think they might start out like 3-1, like 2-2. Although I think he gets fired by like the bye because they're probably going to go like on a 6-7 game losing streak in the middle of that, and he's going to be done. So, yeah, he feels like a safe pick. He's not keeping his job after this season. I'm pretty certain about that.
Robert.
I talked.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Sorry, Scully. Miss Scully's voice blends sometimes.
Sorry. Is this too low,
Bar.
or should I turn it up for you?
Oh, wow.
So-
you know what? Go fuck it. Now your fault. The Yankees are going to win this weekend because of you.
All
That's
right,
all.
now, all right. Let's not get too crazy.
So originally I had someone else, and then I thought about it more, and I think that Jim Irsay was already kind of getting tired of Shane Steichen. And hey guys, he's not the quarterback whisperer that Shane Steichen was hyped up to be. So with the whole situation and the way that this team is like, it seems like they're careening towards a cliff. I think that the Irsay daughters are just going to cut their ties and try to start anew.
Hello, Jeff Saturday.
Come on down.
Only a call away.
Coho, who do you got?
I don't think this is necessarily fair, but this is one of the most inept-run organizations, and they are not going to be very good. I think they'll fire Stefanski this year. I think that Stefanski is going to be the first one out the door. I think the Browns are not going to be doing great in the first half of this year, and they're going to blame it on Stefanski because the ownership drafted 2 quarterbacks this draft, and I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing. So
the guy they traded for is currently pending trial in 5 states.
they really don't know what they're doing.
Kenny
so
Pickett
I think
is?
Listen.
Damn.
I'm shocked you didn't.
It was a
say
misunderstanding.
Sirianni again.
Nazaria, who do you got?
Same one I thought it was going to be last year. Brian Dable. And you guys actually made a pretty good case about how he's going to go 0-5. He should probably have been fired already. But, he's a fun guy, and he's like I don't know, like whatever. But the
That's who I
Giants
had
will never,
originally.
the Giants will never raise up from whatever hell they are without changing that least.
John Mara doesn't fire coaches midseason.
He's going to make it to the end of the year. Yeah,
Mine is a leap, and it's not going to happen. But I know when defensive-minded coaches that have pretty fiery tempers become head coaches. I believe by week 8, I think Aaron Glenn is going to choke out one of his fucking players, and they're going to have no choice but to fire his ass because he's going to beat the brakes off of Garrett Wilson on the sideline for bitching and moaning. I watched some sidelines when DBs would walk over and be messed up on the Lions, where he would just literally rip into them. Giants, I think media coverage. I think he may choke a reporter. Like, there's a good shot. New York media keeps, hey, so why'd you decide? Shut the fuck. And he's gonna snap. Defensive guys sometimes just shouldn't last, and so that's my goal. And again, I didn't want to pick Nick Daniel Dayball. I just wanted to go on a limb and have some fun. Which team will have the biggest win improvement from last season? A few of you guys are in lockstep. So Scully, Mark, Ho, and Robert.
Yeah.
Buddies again. Who you got?
Yikes.
Okay.
You got the Patriots.
Yeah. I hate it.
I mean, they really sucked last year. So,
Sucked.
I think another 4 or 5 wins, I think is possible. 9-8 or 10-7. I think it's a very gettable win total for them.
Yeah,
It's a really shitty schedule.
I think this is a playoff team with that schedule. They play a lot of teams with inferior talent and inferior coaching staffs too. I think Mike Vrabel going back home to New England and kind of having him reinstall that culture that you had under it's not a 1-for-1 transfer, but a
He got
similar
to
culture
Ohio.
to what you had under Belichick is huge for that team. And I love what I saw out of Drake May last year. I think he's going to make some leaps. Trevion Henderson is going to be a Rookie of the Year contender. He's going to help that offense go leaps and bounds about what it used to be. So I'm liking this Patriot team this year.
Yeah, they also got like more playmakers on offense, and I thought they would have too. So like that offense is going to be a lot better this season.
I'm very interested in watching Drake May throw to Stephon Diggs this year. I wonder how good Diggs is going to be, but I think that could be really good if Diggs is still
Keep him
viable.
off the boat. Just keep him off the
Yeah,
boat.
keep him up the boat. He'd do great.
Let me be clear. I hated writing that and sending it in as an official choice. I wanted to, move to
I'm
another
okay seeing the
country.
Patriots be good again. I'm ready to see the Patriots be okay again.
No, I need
I'm
20.
ready.
I need 20-year buffer. We had 20
Well,
years.
I said this when the draft happened. Everybody took Hampton from North Carolina. I think he's a good running back. But for Henderson to go that late, I think Henderson is by far one of the steals. He played in a Big Ten against real good run defenses. UConn, like North Carolina, was running against the ACC. I'm just saying. It should matter some point when football matters. When you play against harsh rushing like Michigan defense.
Why is Corey Krosky-Merritt from Alabama State one of the best running backs in the preseason?
Don't ever
Bill.
talk to him again. Me and Barr are in lockstep. 4 wins last year.
Yeah.
Going with the Raiders. Raiders have a better offense. I think they'll run into more wins. I think I think Pete Carroll is a perfect head coach for them in that group. I think it's they could easily get to 10 wins. Like, I think it's very possible. I think they'll be in fights with maybe not the Chiefs, but I could see them in fights with the Chargers and even maybe them and the Broncos. I think they could be trading. And then again, they have other matches. We'll see. But I think Pete Carroll is a coach that you'll look up and be like, damn, really? The only question mark is the quarterback, but like overall, I think Ashton Genty is going to be a fucking beast. Like, he did it at fucking Boise State. He's going to be able to do it in other leagues, especially we've seen him in the playoffs. Like, we've seen him in the playoffs. He was still able to get some yardage against with an inferior offensive line. So that's my pick. Bar, anything?
Yeah, I think that they might win. They might like split 2 of their 3 divisional series. But then also listen to some of these games. Their first game is against the Patriots, who
lost.
Could be good, but their offensive line little weak. Then they also play the Colts, the Titans, the Jaguars, who I also think will be better, but I don't think as good. The Browns.
Who's their quarterback? Ass.
Yeah, the Texans, who they can beat, and the Giants. If everything goes like really well for them, I have a ceiling, and this is like the ultimate ceiling for the Raiders. I have this Raiders with 11 wins possibly this year.
Yikes.
So that's a 7-game.
11.
11.
Yes, I said if everything goes like absolutely.
Bar
right.
doesn't understand what ceilings and floors are. Like, he's been hanging his lights on the floor all this time.
You know what division they play in, right?
Yeah,
that's why I didn't pick them.
But they could. I think they could split with the Broncos. I think they could split with the Chargers. They
So
could
he's saying
possibly
they
split
can-
with the Chiefs.
He's saying they'll go 2-4 against the AFC West, and they're going to go 9-2 against the rest of their
Everybody else.
Yeah,
Fucking
when
Brock
you're playing
Bowers
teams
is about
like
to put a 3,000-yard season.
Yeah, I was like,
baby.
you guys really loving the
Jacoby
Jacoby Myers.
But you also have the,
Remember
you also
Jacoby
have,
Myers, Bar?
you also have the
Jacoby
combination
Myers?
of Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, and that worked
All right.
in Seattle.
Nazario, go ahead.
The fucking San Francisco 49ers. We have 6 games last year, and that is anything to improve upon. And honestly, our division is a garbage fire. So we have the Cardinals and we have the Seahawks twice. We probably can split with the Rams. And the fucking schedule, I don't know, man. We have to play like the Giants and the Browns, like and the Saints and the Jags. I don't know who made the schedule, but I'm thankful. I think we can easily get 10
I'll
wins
strength the schedule revert.
unless everything goes like to fucking shit again, and that would be a 4-game improvement. And also we have the Bears, and the fucking Bears suck.
Fuck. Should have picked. Mine.
Okay. Yeah,
I just didn't want to give you any satisfaction, as Aria said it.
3 teams, all divided between all 7 of us, that agree with the team that will score the most points in a single game this year. You can go with me in lockstep. I picked the Ravens. Who else picked the Ravens? Yeah, I think that I honestly think they're one of the scariest teams. They got stronger in the offseason, which is fucking ridiculous how they're able to do that. I just think they will literally find a team, blow them the fuck out. Like, it will be gross. Like, it will be belt to ass. Like, it will be they'll turn it off Red Zone will turn the game off at halftime. Like, they'll be like, I'm sorry, go watch it if you want to see the scores. We're not showing them. It's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna be ugly.
Well, Cody, my thought on the process is I believe they played 2 games against the Cincinnati Bengals, who have just the worst defense. But in addition, beyond what you were talking about, they will be in a shootout. So they might have to score 55 to win one of those games, which I assume they would do.
Yeah. Speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, who picked the Cincinnati Bengals? Okay.
I mean, you literally just said it. Their defense is awful. Like they're they're probably going to have to score. Like Joe Burrow is probably gonna have to score like 60 points in one game this season to win one.
Correct.
It's probably gonna have to happen.
And then ESPN will say he just didn't do enough to get his team across the finish line.
Yeah, they expect him to play DN to get some sacks too. Like, the Joe Burrow will be the starting D lineman.
I had the same reasoning. He's probably gonna be scoring 30 plus, 40 plus on the regular, because fucking Burrow, he's a great fucking quarterback, and he just won't give the fuck up. Even though his defense will do nothing to help him. So one of those times he's just gonna blow the fuck up and score like 60.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's how they played last season. They had to like score 45 points, and they still would lose. So like, Burrow's gonna have to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take care of it myself. And I would say it's probably like against the Packers or the Bills more likely, I think, would be the match where that happens.
Or the
North brother. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm good. There's a green.
The North brothers have united. Who is the final AFC team that will score the most points?
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think
they're the Bills.
Well, I think they have a lot of games where Allen and company are going to have to score 40, 45 points because they play the Bengals this season. They play the Ravens this season. They have a lot of high-intensity primetime games against great offenses, and I think at some point you're going to see one of those 40, 45-point outbursts.
Definitely.
Want to make this on the record. The points totals that we do will also go into the playoffs this year. So we'll have a regular season champion, but it won't mean anything. The Super Bowl and everything is where it will play out for the winner. So think about that. So just to let you know, because one of these is a point for the Super Bowl. So
Cody really wants to win this year.
Yes, I do. Team that will have the best regular season record. Few of these make sense. One of these make no goddamn sense. So I need to have that explained. But I'm going to go first. Mine is the Ravens. I agreed. Hard division, hard schedule. I honestly don't think it's going to fucking matter this year. Personally, I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the league by a large margin. I think it's going to actually go through the bank. That's my belief. I think they will get home field advantage throughout the entire thing. If they put in the work in the offseason, their secondary got better. They've gotten great playmakers across the board. Henry is if he's a half of what he was, I still think they're going to be good. I think they'll learn from mistakes, or if not, it will just be the ultimate choke, and they can just say that for the rest of their life. They'll be the biggest chokes. They never get the big one. They could possibly, but I don't want to be on the wrong side this time. Two of you have. So there's Coho. Who do you got?
For the
Best record.
best record,
Yeah,
I
Bob.
have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
I think
Need-
that.
Or just vibes.
If he ain't broke, don't fix it. I think they got better. I think
Taylor
when they
Swift's
traded
mad.
away, I think they traded away Joe Dooney, and they're a great draft and develop team. They got their replacement. He looks great already. So that was the only sort of worry I had. Mahomes can make anyone a good receiver. Travis Kelce seems like he looks better already this time around. He looks like he's more locked in this season. So I think it's stupid to count out the Chiefs. I think they're always very good. So
But he couldn't make
Oh,
Sky Moore a good receiver. Have fun,
Also-
Nazario.
Also
Counterpoint, he did not make MVS look good. It falls at him in the hands, he still dropped him. So
MVS is a special case of terrible. Okay.
I will say, best left tackle in the league, just health wise, is the only reason he fell as far as they did. The fact that people let him, the Chiefs get him, is criminal. Is absolutely give Andy Reid that fucking beast of a man on the side. If his knees can be healthy, Jesus Christ, like that dude we'll be talking about him in 10+ years of how many Pro Bowls that man's went to. It's just
They
it's
drafted
funny how
fucking
things.
They
Huh?
drafted their own Lane Johnson.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I thought there's no way they're going to let him. Yep, they got him. Okay, two of you guys are in lockstep. So Robert and Mark, you guys are in lockstep. Who's having the best record?
Yeah, we picked the Bills. I looked at the strength of schedule. I thought about the Ravens, but they have like the 9th hardest schedule.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Bills, and they have like the 23rd hardest schedule. And they already won, like, what did they win? 13, 14 games last year? I just think people are on the Josh Allen dick train. And, like, they're just going to keep that going. And, like,
Well, just one person, I think.
He is the
Just one-
funniest
just one.
person in the NFL right now. I will say.
fair. Yeah. Such
Did Jameis
vibes.
retire?
I stopped drinking for 11 years. Then I turned 12. Hey!
But I don't know how they lose. Like, I think they'll go 5-1 in division at least, if not sweep it. And the rest of the games are not too difficult. So, like, why don't they
Sounds
win
more
50?
logic than my Ravens because they don't play the North. You guys played the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots, which you should be able to win 6 of those games.
Yeah.
Mark, any-
Yeah. Not a ton to add really, because like whenever I did my predictor, setting this in, I had two teams with 13+ wins, and with 13 wins, and that was the Bills and the Packers, and it just felt like the Bills feel like a much better bet, like of getting 13 wins. And-
just to let you know, Scully put the Packers as though the biggest win drop off.
It felt weird seeing them at 13. I didn't trust it, so like I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's like kind of echo what Robert is saying. Like most of their tough games, they play at home. Like the Ravens, they play at home. The Chiefs are going to play at home. The Bucks are going to play at home, and it's their last season at that stadium, which is probably going to give them an extra like an extra hit. So yeah, I like their chances to.
Oh no, they're putting a dome on that bitch, aren't they?
Well, it's a new stadium.
Next season, yeah.
Fucking ruining football. God damn it. Scully and Nazario, you have the same.
Oh God.
The fucking Eagles won the Super Bowl. Good shit. Teams that win the Super Bowl tend to do great next season. But what I feel is going to be something similar to what happened to the Giants in 2013 after they beat the Patriots for the second time and they won 13 games and then they just got their shit kicked out of them in the first round and they never picked up. 12 years later, they are still trying to dig themselves out of that hole. So I figured something similar is going to happen to the Eagles because fuck them. I hate them. They're going to be a strong regular season team. Then they're gonna get exposed as fucker frauds in the playoffs, and we will never have to hear from them again.
All right. Okay. So yes, they did win the Super Bowl. He's right about that, and nothing else. I think this team's an absolute juggernaut. I think they have fixed a lot of what had held them back, dating back to the middle of last season. Jalen Hurts currently sounds like a mixture of Joe Mazzulla and Nick Saban, which personally scares the shit out of me. I don't know about the rest of you all. Again, Saquon, like what y'all said with Derrick Henry, if he's even half the player he is, he's still going to be a huge difference maker on the field for that team. I think the only possible deterrent is Lane Johnson being out for a while. How will the offensive line hold up for Jalen Hurts? But I think at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because that defense won them that Super Bowl. And now you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond. They're all a year older and a year more experienced. And they're only going to get better as it goes along. So I think the defense is what's going to carry this team so far. And I think looking at the schedule, even though it's one of the more difficult schedules, I think it works out well for them. I think it's going to have them well rested and well battle tested for the playoffs.
Well, you all said sound things. Bar.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Listen to this fucking schedule.
I'm listening.
They have to play the NFC South, which is one of the weaker
Well,
divisions.
that's their divisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think they sweep the Saints. I think they sweep the Panthers. They'll probably split with the Falcons. Then they have the Texans.
Already given them a loss.
They have the Texans who they can beat. Then they have the Jets. They always beat the Eagles. If you ever watch, they always beat the Eagles because they're the only team that can effectively stop the brotherly
That's
shove.
the last 2 years. That's crazy that you're doing logic for they'll always beat the Eagles those 2 years.
They can beat the Seahawks. They can beat the Niners. They can go toe-to-toe with the Lions.
They beat the Lions last year.
They beat them last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Early.
They could beat the Patriots. I don't think they can beat the Bills. Then they probably lose to the Rams. But then they have the Cardinals, and then the Saints, Falcons, Dolphins, Panthers.
This is like
Love every single
this
thing.
is like your local Girl Scout troop was selling like boxes of shit instead of boxes of cookies.
Okay,
just
Bob.
not
I
saying-
love
they
every
can
single
win.
thing you
Easy.
said. I have $100 to say you are fucking full of shit, and I'll put it on the table right now.
No, not $100.
No, we do not make bets on this channel on this show anymore because somebody doesn't pay their debts.
Yeah.
Bar will.
So, no.
No,
I
that's for
have.
sure.
If
Yeah, that's
I think that there is a possibility that the Buccaneers can win 13 games.
Well,
And
perfect
Is that
segue.
Is that a floor or a ceiling?
that's a ceiling.
That's a garage. That's a garage. Perfect
got you.
segue. First team to go 5-0 or 0-5. Bar, who's your pick?
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons, Texans, Jets, Eagles, Seahawks.
They lose
That's 3
at
and
least
2.
one of those.
Eagles.
That's
They're
3
playing
and
the
2.
Eagles. What are we doing here, Bar?
They
Like,
beat
This
the
is ins-
Eagles.
This
Win.
is insane, Bar.
They beat
They
the
beat them last
Eagles
year?
every
The
time
Eagles?
the last 2 years, including the playoffs.
they-
They've won 3 out of the last 3 games.
I'm going to make mine quick. I have the Giants 0-5. They lose the first 4, and it's a coin flip on the Saints game. So I will take the odds of possibly being 0-5. There's a really good shot there. There's a really good shot because if it was at home, I probably wouldn't have picked them. But since it's on the road, I'm gonna say that they could also lose. Robert and Mark are in lockstep. Who are your 0-5s?
Go, Mark.
Yeah, I'll start. I mean,
Your Super Bowl pick last year.
I considered going the Saints because I legit have them going 0-17. But they got a couple games those first 5 weeks where they could fumble into a victory, like the Cardinals and the Giants. Like they could just win those games just by accident. I got the Browns. The Browns' first 5 games are they're going to be bad, and their first 5 games are pretty ridiculous. Like they got to play the Bengals, then they got to play the Ravens, and then they're playing the Packers, and then they're playing the Lions over in Detroit, and then they go overseas to play the Vikings. There's no way, especially with their quarterback lineup, there's no way they win any of those games.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, Mark, I think before you got here. There was a conversation about the the Browns play the Bengals stuff, and I was like, whatever. I could have went with the Giants. I would be with you, Cody, if they played anybody but the Saints.
That's fair.
I probably would have went with them because I have them having the worst record. But I don't know, that quarterback situation is so tenuous. I don't know how they win one of those games. I just don't.
3 quarterbacks could play in those 5 games in that 5 game span.
Absolutely true.
Well, if Dylan Gabriel got a shot, they'd win. Now we're gonna flip the coin to the 5-0s. Coho, who's going 5-0?
My God,
you're muted. This is sexy.
Fuck. I think this team's going to be good.
Oh God.
I think that they have a pretty good start.
No fucking way.
I think the LA Rams are starting 5-0.
wow.
Oh, that was
Okay.
I think the LA Rams.
I thought we were going another way.
The LA Rams come out.
He's
against the
hasn't thrown a ball, right?
Matt Stafford's going to be
Stafford
healthy
died
in
weeks
5
ago.
Yeah, there's
Stafford
a rumor
was
that he died.
Stafford died.
Stafford's in the chamber. He's in the hyperbaric chamber right now, just throwing balls.
They cut off his head like Ted Williams.
Stafford's going to be fine for at least week 2, if not week 1. He's going to be fine. Matt Stafford and the
who's the backup?
Garoppolo.
Because Devontae Adams can't get away from him.
Can't.
Either him or Stetson Bennett.
It's a
He
bag.
shows up in the
Listen,
locker
Jimmy
room.
Garoppolo's not a
"This
good quarterback,
bitch."
but in McVay's system, I think most quarterbacks are passable, at least to get through a couple games. Anyway, they play the Texans, the Titans, the Eagles, the Colts, and the 49ers. I think that the Niners are a team that they always beat at
Say those
home.
again.
Yeah, can we say those again?
So fast. Say those again slower.
Rams are going to beat the Texans in the opener. Rams are going to go to Tennessee and punch the Titans in the mouth. The last time the Eagles and the Rams the Eagles and the Rams played was in the divisional, and it was a 6-point difference where the Rams were
Where's it
close
being
to
played?
winning.
Where's it being played?
It's in Philly again. It's in Philly again, where they lost by 6 last time in the snow.
When it was snowing. Got it.
Yes, in the snow, which is the Eagles' environment. What are you talking
Jalen
about?
Carter
That game went to
falls
the-
on Matthew Stafford. He is dead for the year.
Did you ever see the?
Matthew Stafford almost won in the snow by 6 points against the Eagles. I take him in a
I
straight
know
game
this isn't a movie podcast. But have you ever seen The Dark Knight Rises? I'm pretty sure Jalen Carter's going to pick up Stafford and do the bang break right in the middle of the 50-yard line.
And then it's the Colts, and then it's the 49ers. The 49ers, they play at home. I trust the Rams to win in SoFi against the Niners every time. So
I hope so. If they're beating the Eagles in Lincoln, I hope you.
I think they can beat the Eagles in the Link. They almost did it in the playoffs last year.
This is fucking crazy. We have a legit punishment for whoever does the worst this year. And 2 of the people who made their picks said, "Oh yeah, my team's gonna beat the Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions." You guys are fucking crazy. What planet
The
are we on?
Eagles
You think Jimmy
barely
Garoppolo
beat
is
this
gonna
Rams
go
team,
in,
Mark.
go
Barely beat them
Eagles
last
are my
year.
What are you talking about?
Coho.
6
Marcus
points.
never animated. So bad.
It was almost the Eagles almost didn't make it to the championship game the last time they played the Rams in the
Ho-ho.
playoffs last year.
Coho, if I were to barely stab you in the chest versus if I stab you full on in the chest, what's gonna be worse?
Barely
You
stabbing me in the chest because it's barely going in.
Hey, Coho, I'm
You act like hold on, you act like in the game of football, you act like 6 points is just that close. Do you realize if you would have told me a point, a field goal, you're saying they needed to score another touchdown against this team to beat them? That is not as easy. Like, that's not as cool, fine margin.
It was a really good, really close game where the Rams came alive, really strong. I really trust the Rams to win without.
We know.
But that Matthew Stafford had a back.
Just
Coho,
to
have you ever
correct
seen
Matthew
some
Stafford
fucking,
still has a back. You guys are overblowing this injury.
just
Have
to
you
correct
seen it?
some of your
Have
logic.
you seen
You
his
said,
back?
he said
Yeah,
that
Matthew
the
Stafford right
Rams
now.
always beat the 49ers. I think the lifetime record is something like 500. I think the 49ers have like an 8-game ahead thing. If you look in the last 6 years, I
swear
think they
he's
also
Oh,
It's
did
Jesus
insane.
Christ. Nazario.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
We know. Get off your knees. We know your love for the 49ers. By the way, Coho's love for the fucking Rams makes her really question his fandom for the Vikings. It's
He always
really
abandons-
scary how
he always
close it is.
abandons
I
the
think the
Minnesota
Rams are going to be
He
good.
just
That's
sits
all
there-
I'm saying.
He sits there and look in the mirror at night and is like, God damn it, Dad. Why couldn't we have been a Rams fan? Like, you make me
I'm a
choose this
Vikings
purple
fan
and
through
gold.
and through, but the Rams
Hold
are
on.
good. Game respect
He's a-
game.
I
He's a-
didn't choose the
he's a
Rams, the
Warriors-
Vikings life.
He's a Warriors fan. He's not a Rams fan. If he comes out with a Dodger cap at some point this season, we have to shoot him.
I'll shoot him in the chest. I have no issue with that. No, I'll do LA style. I'll stab you. That's what fans do in LA. Nazario, who's your team, and who's going 5-0?
I mean, why mess with a classic? I'm going with the Chiefs. I know they have to play the Eagles and the fucking Ravens in the first 5 games.
Nazario, Mark.
Some fucking way they're just gonna win. We're not gonna be able to explain
Three
it.
people picked 5-0. Three people have
We're
picked
not gonna
5-0
be able to
situations,
explain
and those first 5 games are against the defending Super Bowl champion.
Cody, are you sure these
Well-
weren't written in Sanskrit where you read from right to left? Like, what is going on here?
I
This is-
said they could either pick 5-0 or 0-5, and they're all saying, you know what? Fuck the Eagles. Then
Yeah,
when they
fuck
play
the
in week 6,
Like
They
true
lose.
Americans, they
one of them
abuse
the
the
first
team.
5 weeks.
I'm not saying fuck the Eagles. I'm just saying that we have one team that we don't do well against.
In 2 seasons.
All I'm saying is, last year it was weird. They won games that they weren't supposed to win, and it's the fucking Chiefs. So they're gonna be.
What are their first 5 games?
What are the games?
What are
They
the-
play the Chargers at home, and then they play the Eagles.
No, they play in Sao Paulo. They play in Sao Paulo.
Chargers,
Giants,
Eagles,
and then they play the
Giants, Ravens, Jaguars.
Like,
They play the
What?
Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Chargers.
Yes.
yes.
And the
This
Eagles.
is Brazil.
You know, those are sound games.
I mean, they
Okay.
could win them, sure, but like, I don't know what we're like. What?
Yeah, well, you don't do those guarantees. Scully,
The
your
fucking
logic
Eagles.
didn't.
The fucking Eagles. Because they play the Cowboys on opening night, where they're gonna bend over. They go to Kansas City, where they
Why are we
won.
bending people over?
He's not wrong though.
Where they won 2 years ago, playing some terrible football, and they won 6 months ago in one of the most lopsided Super Bowls ever. Rams at home, I think that's a win because Stafford's going to take at least a month to get back to his level. Bucks on the road is probably the toughest game, but again, I think that defense is just too good for what the Bucks are going to roll out on offense. And then they're at home against the Broncos. And as much as I like Bo Nix, I enjoy watching Bo Nix play football. He may not survive that game.
Who said that? Who said that? You like Bowen and Nix playing football?
I like watching him play. What can I say?
God bless
Look at
them.
great. It's like a Walmart great value fucking Drew Brees out there. Ugh.
Yeah, remember
Yeah,
who
why-
owns
why
the
do you think
team?
Broncos drafted him?
All right, we're gonna make these last 4 pretty fast. Coach of the year. 1, 2. 2 people have the same ones. 2 people have the other same ones, and then there's 3 separate. So let's go with Robert and Coho. Link back up, baby. Why don't you kiss already? Jeez, why don't you just kiss it?
You guys should make out. I love it when 2 girls kiss.
We have Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
the
that just
biggest win
makes sense.
improvement.
Like you're gonna take a team that fucking sucked, and all of a sudden they're probably gonna be at least a fringe contender for the playoffs. So
Yeah, he's won it before, I believe. So
Well,
why not get-
these 2 people can kiss as well. Nazario and Scully have the same one.
there we go.
The kiss.
I wonder why this was picked.
Oh yeah, I wonder why.
Who needs a kiss when you can have a BJ Ben Johnson, baby? Let's go.
Oh, we went to third base real fast here.
I like the bird. Honestly.
Technical foul. Technical
The
foul.
man's a fucking psychopath, and he is my head coach, and I love him, and I think he's going to do wonders for this team. So
Is Caleb Williams still painting his nails?
so what?
I just want to check that out.
Cole paints his hair.
I also
what
wouldn't
hair?
trust him.
Hair?
I also wouldn't trust him to run my NFL team.
Yeah,
either.
would vote for him for
I
coach of the
would
year.
too.
That is a good point, Coho. When are you painting your mustache?
Oh,
That's something I've
fuck.
never considered.
Motherfucker's
you
going to be
done?
magenta tomorrow.
Yeah, I am. It'll be approved at work.
He's going to show up at my house in
All right.
2 weeks with a blue mustache. And I'm
Nazario,
not-
do you want to say anything about BJ?
I think he's getting a team that actually is better than what happened last year. I think they just fell off a fucking cliff. But they have the talent to be a solid team, and I think they will have a decent enough improvement, and he will be able to put some crazy-ass offensive plays together that make them look even better. So, yeah, Coach of the Year.
Mark, who you got?
Got to be honest, I thought maybe it was possible. Me and Mazzario would have
I
had
thought
the
so
same
too.
person, but I guess not. I'm just making sure. I picked Jim Harbaugh. I think there's a pretty good chance Chargers are going to take a leap this year. I think they're going to really contend for that division this year. They have a much better offense to actually score points. Yeah, I like the way they look going into this year. And I honestly wasn't really sure where else to go with this.
I would have
one.
said that before their left tackle decided to die.
Yeah.
I don't read the news. So.
Is it because Justin Herbert's dating Madison Beers now? Is that important?
I mean, I can help.
That man hates Pete Carroll so fucking much. He's going to make them a great team out of spite.
Bar, who do you got?
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. I have picked Pete Carroll.
Fucking
He's
gross.
going to win 13 games.
No.
Oh, sorry,
11.
11 games.
It was
Sorry,
11.
I apologize.
You mixed up that with the floor, Robert. Jesus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Todd Bowles should be the coach of the year. If the Bucs win 13 games, that should have been your coach of the year.
That's
speaks
crazy. If the Bucks have the best record, you're nuts if you don't think they're winning the.
Here's my thing. Coach of the year generally goes to a coach of a team that nobody thought was going to do as well as they did. And to go from 4 wins to at least maybe 9 is gonna be that kind of level in the voters' eyes.
I think 2-loss. John Harbaugh wins Coach of the Year. I think they're only going to lose 2 games this entire year. I think they're going to, and they'll give it to the guy that even if he doesn't, but he gets him over that hump.
It's one of them against the Steelers. I just want to know.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
That's all I need.
I got you.
Thank you.
Oh God. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on offensive rookie of the year. I think a lot of us have the same. A few of us have the same, and then the other are 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
So Ashton Genty is who I've gotten. Mark, Bar, Coho. All have Ashton Genty. Yeah. So I think that's just pretty. I think that's probably the betting favorite right now. But I will let Scully and Robert have the next one. So together, what is it?
Okay.
Yeah, we took Cam Ward. I thought about other players, thought I was overthinking it too much. I think Cam Ward is walking into a slightly better situation than I thought he was going to walk into this season. I think looking at the pass catchers he has, you can ask for two really solid veterans in Ridley and Lockett, who are two guys who can successfully catch the football, unlike some other rookies' pass catching rooms that don't have CTE. You've got a pretty solid offensive line behind you, and I think I like his arm talent. I think even though he lived in the ACC for a year, the Pac-12 the previous year, and Incarnate Word the last couple years, I like his makeup a lot. Plus, let's be honest, this award is skewed towards quarterbacks anyway. I think if Cam Ward puts up 3,500 yards compared to Genty's 1,300 rushing yards, I think he's going to win that vote.
Yeah, a couple things. I thought Genty was too easy of a pick. Pass catchers don't usually win this, though. If Ibuka in Tampa gets to be like the guy down there, then he has a shot. And then
Garrett Wilson won recently.
And Garrett Wilson won recently. And if the Titans somehow get to mid-tier 7-8 wins potentially, and he has decent stats, I think he just wins it by default.
Agreed.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh,
First, Nazario, who's your rookie?
Oh. I know.
I think everybody that plays fantasy with me knows I don't do rookies. So I just went fucking crazy and picked Shadur Sanders, the round 5 Maverick.
I thought you were going with.
I think he's gonna get up to play in about week 3, 4, maybe, and he'll do some crazy
number
ass
4 on the
shit.
depth
He
chart.
wants to. He wants to try to.
He'll go up.
See what
He'll
happens.
go up. Dylan Gabriel should not be any higher than Pratt's, man.
He'll start week
You're
3 and
real
be benched by week 7.
Huh?
He'll start by week 3 and be benched by week 7.
All I'm gonna say is I'm upset that's what's happened in Tennessee. I will not be able to see Will Levis on the sidelines, be able to understand every word that comes out of his mouth when he talks to his coach. My back is broken.
Final.
Well,
Is
he gonna have a clipboard so people just gonna look at him and see if they're gonna know the
I hope he
plays?
looks right over to Cam Ward and be like, he was open on the flat. You've got to throw to the flat. Okay. MVP winner. What? Okay, 2 people are in lockstep. Then everybody else has someone different.
Ooh.
So I'm going to pass it to the 2 best friends that anybody could have.
Robert
And Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been together a
I was
bit.
like, there's no way
Damn
anyone
it.
has
No.
Oh
No,
my
that's-
God, Coho, no.
Be quiet. You
can't.
ruin it, I'll kick you out of the show.
I feel
He's
very
a
good
man
about
of
this. Me
content.
and
He's a
Robert are
man of
great
content.
blood. He won the picks last year, so I
Yeah.
feel great.
Shut up,
I-
bitch.
Yeah, I mean, we
Those
went with
things.
Joe Burrow.
That's it.
They wanted to
Should have
give it
been
to him.
last year.
They wanted to give it to him last year. They just didn't. If they made the playoffs, he definitely would have won it. They don't want to give it back to. I talked about the Josh Allen hype train, but they don't want to give it to him again. They don't. Mahomes won't do enough. I don't think they want to give it to Lamar again. So that kind of leaves Joe Burrow as the main guy there. So there we go.
Yeah, same logic. I think if the Bengals make the playoffs, which they could, have them winning in 10, 11 games, that should be enough. He's probably going to end the season with probably close to 5,000 yards and probably 30, high 30s, low 40 touchdowns. Yeah, I think it's pretty.
There's a good chance that if I win the jersey bet, that a Burrow jersey is probably what I will request. But we're gonna go to the next obvious one on everybody's list because then it gets less obvious as it goes. Nazario, who you got?
Same logic. I think Josh Allen is probably gonna do enough to win it, but they won't give it to him because he won it last year. I don't think the Bengals make the playoffs, which is why I don't think Burrow gets at it this year either. So I'm gonna go with Lamar, which is pretty safe. He didn't get it last year. He did a couple of years ago, but I mean, some people win multiple times, and Ravens are probably going to win enough games to justify this pick. Even though I don't like it, I would prefer Josh Allen back to back. But whatever.
Okay, mine is a stretch, but not
Probably.
as stretch as the other three people. I believe something broke last year in someone's head. I believe a revenge tour is coming. I believe it is still in there. I think the team took the loss very personal. I think that Patrick Mahomes returns to a contender status this year. They all worked out super hard in the offseason. A lot of people, they all worked together in like Florida together in the off camp. There was no Taylor Swift concerts to go tour to. There was no like Galvin. They were just putting in work. So I think
There was
if
Happy
I'm
Gilmore
wrong,
too. There was Happy Gilmore too.
that was shot last year. So that movies don't just happen in the short off season. My thing is, I could be wrong on this, and I could definitely be, but I also don't want to be wrong when he does have that kind of season because he could. So that's my pick, Patrick Mahomes. Who do I go? I'm going to go Barr next because the other two are too interesting enough to not leave them for last. I don't know which one to leave to them, but
This is the year that Jalen Hurts gets his in-season MVP.
I mean,
I think that the Eagles are going to do.
just about threw up with his mouth.
I think the Eagles are going to do really well this year. I think that because of everything that happened in the playoffs, I think Jalen's just going to have momentum with the awards race because of that. And if they do as well as I think that they're going to do, I think in the voters' eyes, they're going to see that he is more than just a runner or that he's a touchdown vulture because of the tush push. I think they're going to see the actual like MVP talent that Jalen Hurts has.
Just a question from the audience. Is he still going to do that play when it's 3rd and 7 and he's in shotgun and then all of a sudden just run forward and slide down? Okay, I'm just curious.
He's going to get more
yards.
He's going to get more yards, though.
It's everybody knows it's coming. It's my least favorite play that they run. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're going to trick anybody. No, never trick a soul.
why mess with a classic?
I don't know how to decide this last one because actually, you know what? I think because he's already talked about this, so that's fine. And then the other one, I think it will be completely out of left field. So, Coho, who is your MVP?
Lamar Jackson is not going to win again. Josh Allen is not going back to back. Patrick Mahomes is universally hated. They will not give it to him. They're going to disrespect him again. Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback and has no shot to win this fucking MVP award. No,
he's a system quarterback. He hasn't had the same offensive coordinator for 20 years.
He won't get the credit that he needs. Joe Burrow is not even going to make the playoffs, so there's no fucking shot they're going to give it to him this time. So, Coho, who's the best quarterback in football remaining?
Please tell me.
Matthew Stafford has never won an NFL
Goddamn.
Matthew Stafford
I'm
has an absolute
disappointed.
cannon.
He doesn't have a back.
He played great last year. I
Thought you
think
was gonna
everyone
talk
is
about
overstating the injury. I think he has a great coach. I think he has enough there to help him. I think that as a player, he's the only reason the Rams are still contenders every year. And I think that they did really great last year. I think they're going to get even better this year. Jared Verse is going to be even better this year. I think the Rams as a whole are going to be better, and I think a lot of that's going to fall on Stafford's shoulders, especially if he misses a game or two and then comes out and they turn around and start going on an absolute blazing streak. I think that people will see Stafford as the piece.
They were going 5-0.
I think they are going 5-0.
He's going to be out for it.
What do you think their record is going to be?
14 wins.
I think like 12-5.
Okay.
Better than where I thought this was going. But
I'm definitely drafting Tyler Higbee because he's definitely going to get 10 touchdowns. That's,
Yeah.
Fuck. Right.
I took their new tight end for that.
Okay. And we'll leave with Scully. Who is your MVP?
So I'll admit, I definitely went outside the box because 2 years ago I picked Burrow. He breaks his thumb. He's out for the year. Last year I picked the winner. But I feel like this year it's less obvious. I think that the emergence of the running back has diluted a little bit of the high-level quarterback play that we've seen. I think that there is a team that has the best of both worlds in passing offense and rushing offense. It's a team that added significantly to that arsenal and is going to get better around week 5 or 6. I think Baker Mayfield wins MVP.
I considered it.
I think that when you look at how much he has grown the last couple of years, the investment Tampa Bay has made in him as a play caller, as a passer, and the weapons he has been provided, because he and Mike Evans have a seamless rapport. He and Chris Godwin had a seamless rapport before the ankle injury. Godwin comes off of the PUP list, I think, probably in about a month. So he'll be ready to go by October, I think, at the latest.
His foot's pointing in the right direction.
I hope so, because he's on one of my dynasty teams. Emeka Egbuka, I think, is going to be the big difference maker. He and Bucky Irving, especially in the short passing game, are going to inflate a lot of Burrow's stats. And I think in a pure numbers race, I think he goes for 4,300 passing yards. I think there's a chance he leads the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns by season's end. I think we are looking at Baker Mayfield. This is the year he ascends to the top of the quarterback heap. After 3-4 years ago, he was garbage, left for nothing. I think he's going to hit that peak this year, and I think he's going to win MVP.
He threw
Breaking
3
news.
interceptions last year.
Breaking news, we just got an interview from week 5 of this season about Matthew Stafford.
Mike, were you really sick this week? What was the problem?
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
So Matthew Stafford going to be dead for the season.
And Nazario, as a rebuttal to your most interceptions remark,
my back.
They are going to incorporate the short passing game and the screen game a lot more because Rachaad White is no longer running back one. Bucky Irving is your primary runner, and you have Emeka Egbuka who killed at Ohio State. So I think that's going to evaporate a lot of the turnovers.
I was legitimately between Burrow, Hurts, and Mayfield when making this pick.
Well, yeah, Bar, you're a complete fraud because you're like, oh, best record, everything else. I won't pick him for the coach. I won't pick him for anything else, but I want him to have. You talk out of both sides of your mouth.
I'm sorry. Did they?
By the way, Hitstick is currently looking out for if anybody's seen Matthew Stafford's spine. We want to know if it's still.
Or does Matthew Stafford in general? He's been dead for weeks.
He could be
He's
scroll.
in a chamber and he's throwing balls. It hasn't been about 55 degrees in that bitch. His body's put together with paper mache. All right, we're going Super Bowl winner, and this will be the final one. 1, 2, 3, 4 people have the same exact one. So Mark, Scully, Nazario, and Barr, who are the Super Bowl winners?
The Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds.
You don't have them.
Wait, what?
I did not.
Did you change it?
No.
Yeah, I told you I changed it on the update.
Well, it looks like that went right.
All right,
Yeah, I was like, that is not who I.
You and Robert have the same one. Go ahead, the Birds.
Jesus Christ, I even told you I did that.
My question is, why send it and then change it? Why don't you just send it when you have it official?
Because I think that they're playing the team that they picked.
Idiot.
Why?
Talk about your Birds.
Yeah, good part.
All right, fine. We have a lot of the same key guys as we did before. Like that defense that defense is still a
Mhm.
top 2 defense in the league.
Hold on.
For sure.
Hold on, I
Mhm.
have a huge issue. Are the Buccaneers going to be knocked out by a different team in the playoffs? Because if
Yes.
the Eagles play the Buccaneers,
Yes.
they have to lose.
Yes.
They always did.
Just want that on the record. Sorry. Okay, just
No,
making
I
sure.
know. I know.
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
But that defense is still absolutely top notch. Like, I think that they're playing the Bills,
Scully.
but I think that the Eagles defense and the Eagles offense is better than the Bills defense in the Bills offense right now.
You sound just like John Madden. It's crazy.
Fuck off.
Incarnation.
Sure, we
Robert,
don't
who-
have. Sorry. Sure, we lost our offensive coordinator again, but guess what? Jalen Hurts has not had the same offensive coordinator for like 8 years now. Like every single season, it's a different offensive coordinator. So that's not going to change that much. So I think that we still have like all of the elements that we had last time. And I think that it's just going to be just enough to win again. I almost didn't pick them. I didn't pick them at first. But I'm behind my boys right now.
It's like listening to a sorority girl tell me why her captor is going to win the annual tug of war.
Facts. We got the toughest women in the back. Robert, go ahead.
I've picked Ravens positively and Patriots positively and Bengals positively. So why not fucking pick another team I hate positively and pick the Eagles? I just, you like look at them and you're like, I don't know how they lose.
Choose
in the playoffs.
unhappiness.
Against
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, other than that, I just didn't see the meeting. I thought the Bucks would get knocked off by, I don't know, the fucking Packers or something. So I didn't even get them that far. So yeah, you look at them as a whole, as a complete thing. I didn't think they'd beat the Chiefs, and they boat raced the Chiefs. And if nothing's virtually changed other than offensive coordinator, might as well just go with them again.
Okay, now Nazario, Scully, and Mark. Don't go at super length because we've talked about this team a lot. But who's your Super Bowl winner?
The Bills.
The Bills.
Because it's time.
Because it's time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not entirely wrong.
Vibes.
Mark, go ahead.
I'll just say they're gonna have their Cody Rhodes finish the story arc here, and Josh Allen has the biggest super weapon because his new wife. Well, here's the thing: she just did a movie, called Sinners.
What?
And before every single game, he will watch a particular scene and be ready to murder people. The team may throw for 6,000 yards this season because of that. Maybe I should have picked him for MVP because I think he's just going to go in every game just pumped up.
It also helps that Michael B. Jordan and Jalen Hurts look similar. So when they meet in the Super Bowl,
Jesus Christ,
that's when Hurts
He
is
may
going to
play
be.
some series on defense. He'll be the middle linebacker just wanting to get a sack.
Yes. He will.
will he get
pancake
across the
Mark
goal?
Ingram.
Will he get across the goal, the first down mark this year? Questions. All right. I have the Ravens. So what I need to say, I think they're going to be the best team this year. I think they're going to get over the hump, and if not, shocker. Because if they don't get over the hump, Coho believes this team will. So Coho,
Here it comes.
We're in the midst of an unprecedented dynasty. They have been to 5 of the last 6. They've won 3 of the last 6. I have no reason to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that they're going to be angrier. I am in lockstep with Cody on that. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
okay, that is the show. Thank you. I said it was going to be a short episode, not very, because Scully's on here. Scully's on here, so he likes to hear himself talk. You should be in a chat with him every day. It's just he talks nonstop. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You talk more than I do.
I don't say anything. I don't say anything at all, ever. Nothing at all. Anyways.
I can say 5 names right now that will cause you to go into an expletive-filled rant.
Okay, why in the show? I'm going to just put him backstage because he has actually the ability to do that to me right now. Next week, we will go week by week, breaking down the records. We agree, they get the win. We disagree, they'll get, it'll work like that back and forth until we decide the playoff pictures as is. So we did it last year. I remember Mark's like, really? Cardinals, you have this? Oh, this is stupid. What about we're disrespecting the Browns? All that will be back in action, so I can't wait. Yeah, so thank you all for being on. We will see you next week.